If you have blocks, you might want them. They're definitely not required, but sometimes they're useful. I will try to remember to show you where they're useful. And so tonight's practice will be more mellow than the one we do on Monday. Monday I kind of work you, and Wednesday more just stretching, just more of a flow. But disclaimer, I always say that, you know, just because I say it's more mellow or it's easy doesn't mean it's easy. It's just easier. But you work within your own body, what you're feeling right now in this moment. Feel free to skip anything, feel free to modify. As always, I will give you lots of modification. So we will start sitting. You can sit on your knees like I'm doing. I'm going to come to cross-legged. You could also sit on a block. And if you want to sit with legs crossed, or if you want to do a half lotus or lotus, you do you. I can't do lotus, or at least not for very long. So I am just going to do cross-legged. So just find yourself, what you want to do is have a long, tall spine, because you want to be able to breathe. So if you feel like you're slouching back, lift yourself up on a block or on a pillow, or tuck your knees behind you. And you can close your eyes if you want to. Growing tall through your spine, roll your shoulders down and back so they're long away from your ears, lengthening your neck, pulling your chin ever so slightly towards your chest. A lot of us will tend to stick our heads forward like a chicken. So just think about pulling your head back. Joel, you can hear me, right? Okay. Good. Just want to make sure we were only having sound issues one direction. And then just allow your focus to come to your breath, inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your nose, drawing in energy, drawing in strength, drawing in positivity from around you. And as you exhale, let go of any physical stress you might feel. We hold a lot of tension in our neck, in our shoulders, in our jaw, and really in our hips as well. And sometimes we don't realize it. So as you exhale, just let all of that go. As you exhale, imagine any negative thoughts or just thoughts that aren't serving you right now to go. So maybe it's not negative thoughts per se, but it's just thoughts that you don't need to think about right now. So as you exhale, let them go. It's not about having a clear mind. Your mind's never going to be empty. You're a thinking human being. It's a matter of sort of clearing out the patterns, the repetitions, the noise. I often think of like a staticky television. We don't want our brains to be static. We want to land on a channel, and then maybe you flip the channel to something else, or maybe you settle on a channel for a moment. But it's slow, it's calm. Just let it be. And hopefully as you're inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your nose, your heartbeat has slowed a bit. Your breath has become more regular. This focused breathing helps all of our body systems, our metabolism, our digestion, our heart and our lungs. It lets them all really work more efficiently. We're fueling them with oxygen. We're bringing calmness and stillness. This regulates your blood pressure. A simple act of focused breathing. When you're ready, next time you inhale, open your eyes, and as you do so, extend your arms upwards, reaching your fingertips overhead, tilting your head slightly, so we're not throwing our head dramatically back, but maybe you're looking like to the corner where the wall meets the ceiling. Growing tall, 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 tall. Take another inhale. When you next exhale, bring your hands behind you on the floor, gently press into them, pull your shoulders back, and again, tilting the head up, opening the chest, breathing into the heart, breathing into the lungs and the ribs, and release that. Twisting to the side, we're going to inhale up, exhale, twisting left hand behind you, right hand on the thigh, pressing gently into both of them, staying tall, holding here for about 3 breaths. So deep inhale, feeling that constriction of your lungs, that's what we're kind of going for, letting it go. When you breathe in a twist like this, the air is going to be harder to breathe in completely, and it's going to be particularly hard on one side more than the other. So just notice that, but it's very good for strengthening our lungs, for building lung capacity. Next time you exhale, release that back to center. Inhale, extend the arms up. Exhale, coming to the other side, right hand behind, left hand on the thigh. Using those to press into the twist, gently pulling the right shoulder back. And again, taking about 3 deep breaths, noticing how that feels to inhale in this twist and to exhale. And then the next time you exhale, bring yourself forward. Bring your feet in front of you so you're in sort of that diamond position. Closer to you is bound angle or butterfly, further away is diamond. It doesn't matter. I don't have super open hips, so I tend to have mine about a bit in front of me. And we're just going to sort of dive forward, let our head melt down towards our feet. Let gravity bring your head over, bring your neck over. Let gravity release your hips, letting your knees drop open. Taking a few breaths here. Good, rising up, extending those legs out in front of us now. Inhale to grow tall. Exhale, releasing, stretching forward as much as you can forward first, and then go ahead and let yourself melt over. Taking a couple of inhales and exhales there. And then bringing yourself back up. We're going to come over onto our hands and knees. If ever being on knees bothers you, just put a blanket or roll up your mat or something. It depends on the surface of the floor that you're on. And just a couple of cow cats or whatever you want to do here to warm up your spine. Maybe you do some cow cats. Maybe you wag your tail. Maybe you twist a bit. Maybe you do a combination of them. Moving through the spine. We're going to do a couple of what an instructor I've taken from calls Beyonce Asana. So we go down to one side, dipping through, coming to a low sort of cow position, and then press back up and arch. So it's a little bit of a funky move. It does not have to be exact. The idea is that we're sort of moving our spine in all directions. We're going side to side, up and down, and then reverse that direction. So you're arching, you're rounding, you're pressing the hips back, a little dancey. Do one more cycle here. And press up, 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 arching through the back, pressing through the palms, and then sit back for a moment in child's pose, reaching your hands long in front of you, sitting back on your heels. And walk your hands over to the left, pressing out through your right hip, and grab your left wrist with your right hand, or just even your right hand can just be on top of your left hand. So you're stretching through the right side, pushing out through that right hip, creating a side curve in your body. Taking a breath. And then walk your hands through center, over to the other side. Right hand reaches out, left hand comes on top, maybe grabs the wrist, pressing out through the left hip, creating a curve in your spine. Couple of breaths on this side. And then walk yourself back to center, coming back to hands and knees, finding a neutral spine. So our belly is pulled in, back is relatively flat. Some people have a little bit of a curve in the back, but we don't want to dramatically be arching our back here. So you're pulling the belly button in, rolling the shoulders down and back. I'm going to start with my left leg. So you can start with either, but I'll be cueing left leg first. So left leg is going to press out behind us, toes pointing towards the floor. Keep drawing the belly in. We're engaging our abdominals here. And trying to keep our hips even, parallel to the floor. So we're not tilting over to our right. We're just lifting that leg to hip height. We're going to bend the knee, touch the left elbow, left knee to left elbow, and then extend it back. Couple more times, left knee to left elbow. You can exhale as you pull it forward, inhale back, fully extending it, as you press back, moving with control, definitely not a race. Last one, extend it back, and then just make circles with that leg. Long circles, or long leg rather, small circles. Like you've got a pencil on the end of your foot and you're making maybe like a circle the size of like a softball. And then reverse that direction so your whole leg is moving. It's not just an ankle roll, but it's not a giant move. Okay, good, pause that. We're gonna come to a modified side plank. So your right knee is gonna pivot around, your left leg's gonna extend, and you're on your right hand. So your modified side plank. Left arm extends up. Right knee, left leg extended, on the right hand, left arm up. Reach the left arm overhead, so you've got a long line. Inhaling for a moment. Again, noticing how this feels, breathing into the ribs. Feeling those ribs expand. Good, press yourself up, coming to gate. So this is one time where a block can be helpful. So the right arm reaches overhead. I realize I look opposite than you depending on your orientation, but just listen to the sound of my right, left. So left hand is going to be on the block, right arm is going to reach over. Alternatively, the left hand can be on the shin, but just be aware of pressing down into this. You don't want to hurt your knee. We're going to add some motion to this. So we're going to tilt over. You might reach the floor, you might not, and then you're just going to tilt back to that gate posture. Arm reaches over. So it's a flow. It's a gentle, slow movement. Tilting over. We're going to do a few of these in class today where we kind of drift and float. Good. One more time over to gate. And now we're going to change this again. I'm just moving my block. We're going to pivot this left foot out and come to a modified side angle bend. So now that left knee is bent, you're still on your right knee. We're still reaching that top arm over, and we're sort of driving forward in this left knee. Your knee might come out a little over your toes, which you know I'm always saying not to do, but in this case it's not going to be problematic because you're not on that knee. Good, deep stretch here. Driving forward. You should feel some opening up in this inner thigh. Great, pivot this around. So now we're in a modified lunge, right knee on the floor, left knee bent in front of us. We're going to twist. Right hand is on the mat, left arm reaches up towards the ceiling. Deep breath in. Good, release that hand down. Press up on the right toe, so you're coming to a runner's lunge. Again, depending on your alignment, sometimes blocks are helpful here, because then you can keep your spine in a long straight line. Press through the right heel. Try to get now the knee over the ankle, because now there is some weight in this leg, right? Now just pivot so you're on the long end of your mat and you're just folding over. Feet are separated and you're just releasing your head down, hanging, hanging, hanging. Press into the mat, just press yourself up so your torso comes halfway up, flat back position. And now just hang, let it go. Hands find the floor, knees will probably bend, and just lunge from side to side. Bending one knee, bending the other knee. As slowly as you want to go. If you want, you can pause. If you want to go more quickly, you certainly can. There's no rule against it. Good. And then when you bend next into your left knee, we're going to lower all the way down into Skandasana, which is a deep crouch. It's crouching tiger posture. So left knee is bent, right leg is extended. Pausing for a moment. And then press yourself back up, pivot back to the front of your mat. So now your right leg is in front, place your hands down, step your right foot back, coming to hands and knees in a modified plank position. So we're not in tabletop, long spine, head to our shoulders, to our hips, to our toes, and then lower all the way down to the mat. As you inhale, slide your hands out in front of you, coming to a sphinx. So it's a supported back bend here. Our weight is on our forearms, but we're actively lifting our belly button in, contracting our gluteal muscles, rolling our shoulders down and back, taking a deep breath in. So we're not throwing ourselves into an arch, and I just prefer to look forward rather than looking up. That tends to put your head in a not, your neck in a not great position. Good, release that down, slide the hands back, press yourself through, plank up to a downward facing dog. Jogging through, bending one knee, bending the other knee, and then pressing both heels towards the mat, dropping back down onto hands and knees. I'm just going to turn around because my back would be to you when we go into this otherwise. Right. Had to think for a moment. Belly button in, shoulders down and back, extending the right leg behind you, or whichever one you didn't do. Bringing it to hip height. So I just turned around, so it's still the one that's closest to you. I'm just facing the other way. And now we're going to bend that knee, bringing it to the elbow, and press it back. Exhale as you open it up, bring it in, and press back. Good, nice and controlled. So we are working the core here with this nice, slow, and controlled movement. But hopefully not in a way that feels like it's burning you out. Just getting some little crunches in. Extend that leg, and now make little circles with it. So again, the whole leg is moving in the hip socket, but it's not a big circle. And then reverse that direction. And pause. And pivot, left knee on the floor, right leg extends, reaching up into this side angle bend. Not side angle bend, modified plank is what this one is called. Good, press yourself up, coming up and over to gate, which is a hip opener. We're reaching the left arm over, letting that right arm either just dangle in space, gently with no weight on the calf, or you can bear weight down on a block. And now floating through this a couple of times. So tilting over, maybe all the way to the floor, but trying to use the core to lift ourselves up, not so much shoving off of the mat. And tilting over, your breath will help. If you exhale, that will help tilt you up and over. Good, last one. Exhale, tilting up and over. Good, coming back. Now we're going to pivot into this right knee again, coming to that modified side angle. So the right knee is on the thigh, left arm is reaching over, stretching in and driving forward with that right knee, so you're deepening this stretch here. Taking a couple of breaths into that. We will be doing side angle bend again when we come to standing. So this is getting us prepared for that. We'll be doing a very similar move to that floating one. And then bring this hand down, coming all the way facing now the front of your mat. Left hand stays in the mat as we twist up and to the right. Taking a breath in that twist. And then bringing the hand down to the mat. If you'd like, curling the toes up to press up into that runner's lunge. Again, grabbing blocks if that is helpful. Push through that back leg. And then once again, just pivot to the long end of your mat, letting yourself hang down. And bend one knee and the other knee. Sitting back and forth. And Skandasana now in the right knee, so bending all the way down, the left leg flexes up. Taking a breath. Deep bend of the knee, deep stretch of the hamstring. And push yourself up. Pivot back to your front end of the mat. Step the left foot back to meet the right, dropping down onto knees, modified plank. Chest lifts, belly lifts. So this is still a working posture. You could of course do full plank if you preferred, but you're working your core here. and then lower all the way down to the mat. This time, bringing your arms beside you, we'll come to a variation of locust. So palms are actually going to be on the mat because you can use them to lift up. Contracting your gluteals, pulling your belly away from your spine, from the mat towards your spine. We're going to inhale as we lift up, squeezing the glutes, pulling the shoulders gently back, and release down. And again, inhale up, and exhale, release. Inhale up, exhale, release. This time, inhale up to hold it, and if you'd like, you can bring the hands behind the back if it feels good to deepen the stretch. Clasping the hands together, continue squeezing the glutes. If you don't like the hands there, they can stay on the mat or they can just lift up like a super person. Good, release that. Press the hands on the mat by your shoulders. Push yourself up through plank. Press yourself back to downward facing dog. Jogging through here, bending one knee, bending the other knee, rolling shoulders away from the ears. And then step, hop, or float your feet to the top of the mat, letting yourself hang over here. Bending the knees, rolling all the way up. Deep inhale, extend the arms up overhead. And exhale, sitting back into chair. So hands at heart center, chest is lifting, knees are sitting back, right over the heels. Option to come up on tippy toes if you'd like a little challenge for a moment. If you're up on toes, release back down to heels, and then forward fold. Inhale, sliding halfway up, flat back. Exhale, release. Place your hands on the mat, step the right foot back, followed by the left. Dropping down to knees, we're going to do a vinyasa here. Chin, chest, and hips to the floor. Inhale, cobra, shoulders are down and back, elbows are back. Curling the toes under, downward facing dog. Extend the right leg up just to hip height, so you're not opening through the hips here, you're keeping your hips even with one another. And we're going to step that right foot all the way through, rising up to a high lunge this time. So back heel is pushing away, straightening that leg. Front knee is as deeply bent as you want it to be. If you'd like, extend those arms up overhead. Coming down into cactus like a goddess position. Pulling down, so you're actually like you're drawing weight, strengthening the back muscles. Continuing to look just slightly towards the ceiling. And then if you'd like, clasping these hands behind the back. Pulling the shoulders back, opening the chest. So we're going to lunge. Just simply pivot the back foot so that you're in more of a warrior one position. So your back foot is now planted. See if you can keep your hips forward. The hips are going to want to rotate, but see if you can keep the hip position the same. And then from here, bending forward, humble warrior. Those arms float up overhead. Good, pulling yourself back up. Stay where you are. As always, I'm facing the wrong direction. I don't want my back to be to you as we move through this. Good, release the hands, coming to warrior two. So that back foot stays the same. When I'm in a classroom, it's different. I can just move around. The camera, you're so rooted to where you are. I'm very conscientious. Sometimes it's okay to have my back to you, but right now I prefer not to. So arms are strong, shoulders are rolling down and back. Okay, so this movement's going to be similar to what we did before. We're going to come to side angle bend, hand across the thigh. Opposite arm reaching up overhead, and then we're going to keep the front knee bent as we come into our reverse warrior. Hand floats behind the back, opposite arm comes up. And we're just going to float through that side ankle bend with your breath. You don't need to move as fast or as slowly as you decide. Just floating. So the bottom half of your body is still, and the top half of your body is moving. Next time you get to your extended side angle, go ahead and hold that. Reach the arm overhead, stretching it away. Option to bend that elbow, place your head in your hand. That's what I meant, head and hand, yep. And then slightly open your chest towards the ceiling, getting a little bit of a heart opener here. So the weight of your head presses back, pulls your left shoulder back, brings you up to the sky. Good, and then press yourself up, straightening that leg. Come so all toes are facing forward, and just walk your feet a little bit closer together, feet are parallel. And flat back, hinge forward. Let your head release down. From here, we're just gonna bend our knees and straighten our legs. Bend the knees and straighten. You can have a block here again to put on your hands if your hands don't reach the floor and you would like them to. Equally, you just don't need to straighten your legs the whole way. Or maybe your hands don't need to be on the floor. That's fine too. Just bending and straightening. Next time you bend, just go ahead and leave a little bit of a bend as you roll yourself all the way up. Rolling the shoulders down and back. Pivoting that right foot back to the front of the mat, coming to triangles. So we're hinging, hinging, hinging forward, letting the front arm drop down, top arm comes up, pulling the ribs in, pulling the belly button in. Good, pressing yourself back up. Pivoting towards the front of the mat, stepping the back foot a little bit forward. Both legs are straight. And we're just going to fold over this. You can dangle, the hands could find the floor, the front knee can bend. This is pyramid, but it's like an easy pyramid. We're not stressing too much about anything here. We're just giving a stretch. So you do what feels good. If legs need to bend, if they need to be straighter, where do you need the stretch? In your hamstring, in your back? Do you want to be lifted up? What feels good? And then bend your knees so that your hands can find the floor if they're not there already, and step that front foot back. Plank position. We'll hold this regular plank for a moment, feeling free always to drop to knees. Just holding it for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now dropping to knees, lowering all the way down. Inhaling up to your cobra, pressing back, downward facing dog, holding your down dog while I just switch sides. So again, I won't have my back to you. Left leg's gonna extend up, holding there for a moment. Hips are square. And then when you're ready, stepping that left foot all the way forward, pressing up into your high lunge. Hands at heart center. So you're pushing through that back heel, lifting, growing taller, deepish bend in the front knee, but never tracking out over toes. Most times, we don't track out over toes. Mostly it's when there's weight is when you want to think about it. If weight is being borne on your leg, that's when you don't want to have toes, knees over toes. Because what you want is your quads and your glutes to be firing, not to be putting all of that pressure on your joint, which is what happens when you hinge forward. Arms extend up, maybe the gaze tilts up, drawing the hands with strength down the back like you're pulling 1,000,000 pounds down with you, and then clasping those hands behind your back, opening up your chest, gazing towards the ceiling, pulling the arms down behind you. And then pivoting that back foot and planting it down so that you're in warrior one. Hips are still forward. For me, I always bend my knee less in warrior one because otherwise my hips open. I'm going to keep the hips forward so my knee becomes much less bent than in a lunge. Actually, yoga teachers correct me all the time on it, but I can't do it because of the way my body is shaped. So it is what it is, right? And we're going to fold forward, humble warrior. We all must be humble, finding our humility in our practice. It's not about achieving some look that some yoga book says we have to do. And press yourself back up, warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2. So your foot stays more or less the same. If your left foot, your front foot, if you were to draw a line from your heel, it would hit about the arch of your back foot, and your back foot's at an angle. Shoulders are down and back. Again, you can bend this front knee as much as you want, keeping knee over ankle. So two things, you don't want it to go forward, but you also don't want it to flop inward. Which, depending on what your ankles do, your pronation of your feet It might go out, it might go in, more commonly in. Our floating side angle bend, up to our reverse warrior. So again, the bottom of you is rooted. I often think of this when I lived in DC in the cold, cold winters. I would tell people it's like we're in a beautiful blue tropical sea, and our feet are rooted in the white sand, and our body is just like seaweed drifting through the water. Now I live in a tropical place, so it's not so imaginary, although I can't go to the beach. On your next one, bring that arm across the thigh. We're going to hold our side angle bend, reaching that arm forward, keeping the nice deep bend in the leg. Again, if you want to cup your head in your hand, opening up. What this does is it just allows you to open your chest. It isn't a twist, but what it does is it tends to put our torso in a neutral position. A lot of people tend to be rounded forward in side angle bend. We want to stay more open. When you're ready, press yourself up, straightening that front leg. Good, pivot towards the front of the mat. Walk those feet in a bit. Keep them turned out. And we're going to come down to goddess. A variation of goddess, a deep squat. We're going to bring our elbows to our thighs. So we're more forward. In goddess, we stay upright. Actually, I want you to bring hands to thighs because we're going to add some movement to this. So hands on thighs, not on your knees. They're behind, and our weight is way far back. Make sure you can wiggle toes. This is another moment. We don't want to be sitting forward and hurting our knees. And it's easier with our chest down because we can push our hips back. And I just want you to bend shoulder towards knee, stretching our back. Inhaling and exhaling as you move. Bearing some weight on your thighs for support, but that's why it's not on your knees. Good, couple more times. And make sure you're even. Finish on whatever side you didn't start on. Bring those feet parallel, straighten the legs, and forward fold. Grab hold of calves, of ankles, of toes, or of feet, wherever you can reach with straight legs, and pull your body downward so the crown of your head is reaching towards the mat. And bending your knees, rolling yourself all the way up. Deep inhale, open up. Exhale, bring those hands again behind the back, clasping your hands together, pulling the shoulders back, tilting the chest upwards. Taking a breath. Good, extending the arms, pivot that front foot back to the front of the mat, left foot forward, right foot back, hinging forward into triangle, letting the front arm drop down. So this is another one that you can put hand on block, or you could put your hand on your shin, but with no weight. I usually don't like hand on shin because people push on it. It hurts your knee and it doesn't work your core. We could be working our core right now. Good, rising up, pivoting that foot. I usually have to step it forward. So we're in a modified pyramid, releasing all the way down. Again, bending your front knee as much as you would like. Letting your head go. And when you're ready, just step that back foot forward, coming to forward fold, sliding yourself up, halfway lift, releasing that back down, bend your knees, rising up into chair, Utkatasana, hands at heart center, sitting nice and low, knees over ankles. Good, we're going to do a little movement here. I want you to press off your right foot as you straighten your leg and bring your left knee to your chest. Hold it. And then place it back down, dipping back into chair, and switch. Push off the left knee, lift up, right leg comes up. I say to chest, it's not really going to our chest, it's just being lifted. It doesn't matter where it is here, there's no right or wrong level. And bend the left knee, coming back into chair, push off the right foot, but it is slow. So this is our balance, it's a moving balance. Left foot comes down, push off the left, rising up with the right. Holding and breathing, how are we doing? One more each side. So we squat down into our chair, push up. Last one, squat down into our chair and press up. Good. Coming to warrior three, variation of warrior three. Pushing that right leg behind us, hands at heart center, tilting, tilting forward. Belly button in, working towards parallel with the mat. Can you, with control, step the right foot back and find your high lunge? I always have to wiggle my foot further back. Good, high lunge. Twisting here, right elbow comes to the right thigh or locks all the way against that right side, twisting towards the left, not the right side, the left side, sorry, right elbow to left thigh, and then twisting to the left, pushing back through the right heel. Good, releasing that back, hands find the mat, step the right foot forward, forward fold. Halfway lift, flat back. Release all the way down, come back into chair. Last chair, I promise. Hands at heart center. Lifting the left foot up, pressing it back, coming to your warrior three on this side. So warrior three can be anywhere in here. We can be all the way up with the foot just above the mat or even toe on the mat for balance, or it could be at any point in between, but the whole body moves in one movement. So you always have your head in line with your heel. And stepping the left foot back, coming to high lunge on this side. And twisting left elbow, coming to that right thigh. Could just be right here, or make it deeper, bringing it all the way across the thigh, finding the bind. If you start to wobble, you can put your hand down on the mat. See if you can keep your hands at heart center. They love to migrate up to the armpit. See if you can keep them at the heart. It'll help you twist. Good, releasing the hands to the mat. Step the left foot back, lower all the way down, chaturanga. Inhale up to your cobra. Exhale, press back, child's pose. Letting your head release down to the mat. Deep inhale, long exhale. Good, releasing yourself out, coming out to a low plank on your knees. Contracting your glutes. We won't stay here very long because this is not meant to be your core challenge yoga. I want you to just curl your toes under and lift those knees up and drop them down. Lift them up and drop. And 5 and 4 and 3. Last 2. Last 1. Drop down to knees. Press up to a full plank on your hands and knees. Belly button coming in. Elbows hug the ribs as we come all the way down. Curl the toes under. Push yourself up and back. Down dog. Kicking the right leg up. Bending the right knee. Dropping it to the right side. So we're opening up our hip. Bringing that leg back to center, swinging the leg forward. We're going to come to pigeon on this side. So the right leg is going to come across, left leg's extending behind. If this does not work for you, you can come onto your back, place your right ankle across your left thigh, and come to a figure 4 position. So we're going to stay lifted in this, reaching that back leg back. We're going to do the same thing we did on Monday for those of you who are here on Monday. So your hands are going to separate out a little ways from the mat. And we're going to dive forward, chest going towards the floor, and then press into the hands as you round your body up. So it's a chest opens towards the ceiling, we hinge from the hips, releasing down, and then we press back up. Some more flowing, lots of flow stuff today. Releasing forward, pressing up, working on that spinal mobility. Last time. And press up. Growing tall, 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 walking those hands back in. And now if you'd like to release all the way down, you may. If you want, you can find a block. Put your head in the block. You can put your head on your hands. We don't want to roll onto that right glute, so you would wedge a block under there if you felt like that was happening. And breathe. And from there, bring your hands back, press yourself up. Curl your left toes under you, push yourself up, three-legged dog, extending that leg, and then placing it down. Extend the left leg up, bend the left knee, drop that foot to the side, opening up through the hips and pelvis. Bringing it back to center, hinging forward, bringing it across the body, left leg crosses, right leg reaches back behind us, sitting up tall. And again, if you were doing this on your back, you would just cross your left ankle over your right for your figure four. Sometimes I feel like doing it that way actually works, gives you more of a stretch in my hips, but this does an inner thigh stretch, that one doesn't, so it's not really that that's easier, it's just different. And some people's knees can't handle this one. Separate those hands out, spider fingers, and slinky spine, releasing down and pressing up. Inhale, chest lifts and reaches forward and comes back up. I think of this as very like Kundalini, Cobra-esque. And release down, really arching that spine. Spinal mobility is so important. Last time. And then walk the hands in, lift up, see if you can stretch the back leg even a little bit further back. And then if you want, melting forward, putting head on hands, head on block, whatever works. Breathing into that left hip. Again, try not to roll onto the left glute. And pressing yourself up, curling the right toes under you so you can push all the way up and back, three-legged dog on that side. Both feet find the mat, coming to your down dog. We'll just do a quick down dog twist here. Step your feet out about mat's distance apart. We'll do both sides, so it doesn't matter which. I'm going to bring my left hand back first, and it goes to your right leg. Again, we're never grabbing the joint, right? So maybe it's your thigh, maybe it's your calf, or maybe it's your ankle. So it's opposite arm goes to opposite leg, and then you turn to that side, looking past your armpit, feeling a nice stretch, hopefully, in your spine. Couple breaths there. And release that hand to the mat, do your other side. Reaching back for the ankle, calf, or thigh, or it's just on the floor. Some people, depending on your torso length, your arm length, they just reach to the floor. That's fine. Good, release that hand back. Step those feet back in towards the center. Lift up on tiptoes. Lower back to those heels. Bend the knees and sit back on your heels in child's pose. Let the head melt down. Breathe into the back body. So you could have your arms extended out in front of you. You could also release your arms by your side if you want. You can separate your knees or have them together. It does different things, but we haven't been doing any crazy back bends, so you could do either way. And then when you're ready, roll yourself all the way up. Open up your legs. I'm going to face towards you, long edge of the mat, but you can face towards me on the short edge of the mat. Sitting up nice and tall. And then hinging from the hips, walk those hands forward, another good option on the block, because we're going to sit here for a moment, so you could bring forearms to the block. Maybe your block is right here. What we're trying to do is create some space in here, opening up the hips and inner thighs, kneecaps and toes towards the ceiling. And what happens for a lot of us, is our posture tends to have us here. We're kind of slouching back into it. And then we try to go forward and it looks like this. So that's when we don't have a lot of flexibility. That's what it looks like. So what I'm trying to have you do is see if you can sit tall. Sometimes that means bending your knees. So then you could get up here and then you hinge forward like so. If your legs are on the floor and you're nice and tall, then we just hinge forward with a long spine, because here I'm creating a lot of length and here I'm actually quite compressed. You notice because you can't breathe well. So sit up nice and tall, hinge, and once you find that point, just stay there. Breathe into it. We did a fair amount in our hips and our inner thighs, so you should be able to sit here and not hurt yourself. I don't like to do deeper stretches like this when your muscles are cold, because that's how you hurt yourself. I'm all about not hurting you. It's kind of like rule number one, it's like a doctor. First, do no harm. First, do no harm. Second, increase your strength and flexibility and focus and general happiness. Good, bring yourself back. Bring the left leg across, press into the left hand, the right foot, stretching up. One of my favorite stretches. It's like a baby wild thing. And release that down and switch. Left leg extends, right leg in and stretch. And release. Good. Bring the legs together. Sitting up tall. And we're going to do a tiny bit of ab work. Mostly because I know all y'all can handle this. See, when I know who's there, I can play to the audience. So even though this is chill and mellow, I know that y'all can handle a little bit more. So I'm still keeping it chill and mellow, but we will add a little to it. So hinging back, belly in, chest lifted, just holding here. Reaching the arms overhead, opening them out, stretching, even gently pulling back a little bit, just gently. Don't strain your shoulders, just open the chest. And then like you're pressing, 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 pressing. Bring them back to parallel. Lift up overhead, open. Of course, you could challenge yourself and lift your legs up here, but again, this is not meant to be our killer practice. One more time, lifting up, opening up, and I have managed to save time for some breath work. And press, 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 press in. Good, pull the belly button in, roll yourself all the way down, hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little rock from side to side. I do still like to end in an inversion, but we're just going to do a gentle inversion. So feet on the mat, we're going to lift up into a bridge. So keeping our feet and our thighs and our shins parallel, squeezing up through the glutes. So it's not a supported bridge, it's an active bridge. So you're working your gluteal muscles, you're working your abs, but you're in a gentle inversion. If you want, you could reach your hands under you and clasp your hands together. You could also come to four-footed posture, which is where your hands grab hold of your ankles and your 4 feet become your feet and your shoulders. I guess your head doesn't count, I don't know. I think it's more like a 5-footed posture if you ask me, but they didn't ask me thousands of years ago when they wrote these postures. If you did grab your ankles, go ahead and let them go and then lift up on your toes so you're pressing those hips even higher. And then slowly lower yourself all the way down. Bring your legs in, coming to happy baby, holding onto ankles or feet. So trying to keep your low back in the mat. We tend to kind of lift our bottoms up in the air. Try to keep that on the mat. Pulling your knees down towards your armpits. So we're once again opening through the inner thighs, opening up those hips. And you could rock from side to side if you would like. And then draw the soles of your feet together and release them down onto the mat. So your knees drop open in butterfly. Bringing one hand to heart center, one hand to your belly. And let your eyes gently close, elbows drop towards the mat, knees drop towards the mat. And we'll do the 3-part breath. So as you inhale, you'll breathe deeply in. Feel the hand on your abdomen rise. Feel your ribs rise, feel the hand on your chest rise, and then as you exhale, feel the hand on your abdomen fall, feel your ribs fall, and feel the hand on your chest fall. So it's 3 parts. It's inhale, belly, ribs, and chest. Exhale, abdomen, ribs, and chest. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Trying to hold it at the top for a moment. Exhale, 1, 2, 3. Hold it. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, and hold. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, and hold. One more time. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, and hold. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, and hold. Reach your arms overhead, give yourself a stretch, reach your legs down below, pushing your heels away, open up your legs about mat's distance, and then let your hands come down by your side, palms up, rolling your shoulders down and back. Once again, maybe tucking the chin slightly towards the chest. And just lying here for a moment in Savasana. Again, inhaling, noticing breathing in not only oxygen. In the yoga tradition, we breathe in prana, which is your life force. Breathing in light, breathing in energy. As you exhale, releasing stress and tension. Releasing anything not serving you. Feeling your body growing heavy in the mat. Feeling your hands, your legs, your feet, your arms. Notice where everything's making contact with the mat. Notice your heartbeat. Can you feel it? Can you notice if it's beating fast or slow? Notice your breath. Imagine looking your body from the inside, your eyes resting on the backs of your eyelids. See if you can watch your breath as you inhale. Notice it. Is it more in your left nostril or your right nostril? It does tend to shift. Notice it going through your body, imagining that oxygen recharging your cells. And then watch it as you exhale. Has it changed? Do you notice a difference in temperature? A difference of the feeling of the in and of the out? There are no right answers to any of these. It's just observation, just awareness. If any thoughts enter your mind, acknowledge them, notice them, thank them, maybe wonder where they came from. And then exhale, let them go. Making space, clearing out. When you're ready, keeping your eyes closed, we're going to do another pranayama but from seated. So with your eyes closed, just gently bring yourself up. No rush. You can roll to the side if you want. If you want to chill for a moment in the fetal position. If you need to rock a few times. If you need to twist. Whatever you need to do. And then take a moment to situate yourself. Getting comfortable, and then once again closing your eyes. So you want your spine to be tall. Nice and lifted. So we'll do the alternate breath. So I will demonstrate it if you need to open your eyes and look, but otherwise you can just listen to the sound of my voice as I talk you through it if it's new to you. So you're going to take your right thumb and bring it against the right side of your nose, your right nostril. You're going to bend your index finger and ring finger towards the palm of your hand, and then your right ring finger is going to be by your left nostril. So thumb by the right nostril, ring finger by the left nostril. Alternate breath. So we're going to press the right nostril and close it. Inhale through the left nostril. Then pinch both nostrils. Release the right thumb and exhale through the right. When you finish, inhale through the right. Pinch the thumb. Let go of the ring finger. Exhale through the left. We're going to inhale left for a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Pinch it. Exhale right for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale right for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pinch. Exhale through left. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale left for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pinch. Exhale right. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale right for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale left. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale left. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pinch, release right. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale right. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pinch, exhale left all the way out. Once you release, drop your hand. Hold your breath after the exhale as long as you can. And when you can't hold it anymore, inhale through both nostrils. And open your mouth and let it go. And now just pause here in the stillness. Inhale, extend both arms up overhead, pressing your palms together. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Om Shanti Om. Namaste.